Hi, my fellow guitar players. Welcome to another Tommy Emmanuel guitar lesson on this channel, as we're about to get into the secrets of Tommy's mesmerizing rendition of Imagine by John Lennon. Make sure that you've got your guitar tuned to drop D, just like Tommy, and if possible, arm yourself with a thumbpick to capture that signature Emmanuel magic. Now, this arrangement of Imagine is mostly intermediate friendly. However, it will also tackle those tricky, bewitching, cascading harmonics at the end. I don't want you to feel discouraged because Tommy has performed Imagine without these harmonics as well. So if you find them too hard to play, you do have options. In the video description below, you'll find links to both the tablature and Tommy Emmanuel's original arrangement. So make sure to check that out. If you like these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give the video a like. Now, pour your favorite drink, grab your trusty old guitar, get your brain into focus mode, and let's dive right in. Here we go. What you just heard was the intro. So what do you play? First of all, the chords. So we have the D5 chord, right? Middle finger in B3, index finger barring second position of G and B, and then open low E string. I'm going to say E string even though I know it's tuned to D, but it just makes it a little bit easier, right? So that's our first one. The second one is going to be D major 7. So all you have to do is just lift your middle finger. And now we have open E string, open D, and then second position of G and B, right? Then we have two more chords, and that's basically the same thing, but you add your pinky in fifth of your E string. So you're fretting a G there. So we have D5 over G, and D major 7 over G, okay? So let's have a look at the first bar. So what do you play? So first of all, what you do with the picking is that the middle finger plays the B string, index finger plays G, right? And they play them together, usually. Right? Then we have the thumb playing the E string or the D string, right? And in many places, it's going to be alternating between the thumb and the fingers, where in some cases, it's going to be thumb and fingers, usually on the first beat, right? So when we look at bar 1, we start with, so you start with thumb and fingers, and then you start alternating thumb, fingers, thumb, like that, right? Then what you do is you play in the second half, you play, all right? So you start with fingers playing that D major 7, then you play the D string, you play D major 7 again, and you make a hammer-on with your middle finger in third position of the B string, finishing off with another D string. So like this. Then what you do is you switch to the next chord, which is that D5 over G. So we just add our pinky in fifth of the E string. Then again, we play fingers and bass note together. And then we alternate D string, fingers, D string. Then what you get is this. So that is D major 7 over G, and you play fingers, then D string, fingers, like this. And with that second chord, you turn it again into D5, so the middle finger goes back onto the B string. And then you play D string and then D major 7 again. So like this. Then you remove your pinky and you play bass, D, fingers, D. Then we play this part again, which is very similar to the last two beats of bar 3. So you start again with D major 7. So you play fingers, D string, then you turn it into D5, so adding the middle finger. So, and then you finish off with playing D string and fingers on D5, right? So, and then we finish off in the last bar, going back to D5 over G. So we play bass string, D string, then fingers, D, D, and then open A. All right, so, sorry. And then we would go to the next part. So, from the beginning, 3, 4. So that was verse 1. So what do you play? So first of all, there are a couple of chords that I want to look into. The first one being the D chord in the C shape. So that's middle finger on B3, index finger on G2, and ring finger on D4. And just having open E string, A string, and then the rest, right? The middle finger is not always played, but still, this is used a lot in this tune, right? Then we have D major 7 over F sharp. So that is index finger flat and second of G and B, open D string, and then ring finger in fourth position of your bass string, your low E string. Then we have G add 9, right? So that is index finger in second position of your G string, and then pinky in fifth of your E. And we play E string, D string, G string, and B string, like that, right? So D, D major 7 over F sharp, and then G add 9. So now let's have a look at that first bar. So this is what you do. So you start off with having that D in the C shape. You don't really need the middle finger, so you can leave it out if you want to. And you play E, A, D, G, and that's down, 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 index finger. Then you play D, G, and then we go to the next one. So you get down, 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 index, down, index. Then we switch to D major 7, and there we play this. So what you do is, with your thumb you play the bass, you pick G and B with your index finger and middle finger, then you strum D, G, and B with your index finger and middle finger, and then you pick it up again with the same fingers. So we have then we go to the next bar, and there we play this. So that is G add 9, right? So index finger on G2, pinky on E5. And then we play thumb, and then G and B, and then D string, and then you play E string twice, like this. So you get Then what you do is you play this. So we play a downstroke on the D string, G string, and then upstroke on B, G, D, A. Right? So when you combine it all, you get then in the next bar, we play the following. So again, we start with that D in the C shape, again, without the middle finger. And you play E string, A, D, G. And then right after you get that D string again, and then a little bit later, the G, so you get, and that is thumb, 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 index, index. Then you switch to that D major 7 over F sharp. Then we play so what you do is you play E, D, and then G and B, then the D string, and then what you do is you lift your index finger off of the B string. It's still on the G, but not on the B, and you play it. So like this. So when you combine those parts, you get then we get that G add 9 again, and there we play E string, D string, G and B, and then E, E, right? And then we get this part again, which is the same as bar 6, what we played. So when we combine it all, we get this 3, 4. Next up is verse 2. Let me play it for you first, and then we'll get into to play that on the guitar. Here we go. When it comes to the chords, verse 2 is pretty much the same as verse 1. The only added chord is the A chord, which is index finger in second position of D, G, and B. And you play that along with your open A string. So now let's see what is what in verse 2. Here we go. The first bar goes like this. Also here we start with the D chord in the C shape. However, we can ditch the middle finger, and in fact, we're going to ditch the index finger at first as well, because this is what you play. So you play E, A, D, G, which is open, and then you make a hammer-on with your index finger on second, and then you play it again, right? So, and you do that with thumb, 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 index, index. Then you switch to D major 7 over F sharp. There you play E string, G and B, D string, G and B, right? So. Then we go to G6 add 9. It's basically the same shape as your G add 9 that we had, but we'll also be playing the open E string here as well, which is the major 6. What you do is, the first part is the same, so you play E string, G and B, D, E, E. But that's the start of this. Right? So that is E, D, G, B, E, B, G, D. Right? Down, 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 up, 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 up. So we have thumb, fingers, thumb, thumb, down, 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 up, 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 like that. Then we get the following part. So again, we have that D in the C shape again. And what you do is you play E, A, then you play the G string, and you make a pull off to opens like this. Then you play D, G, and then second of G. And that is thumb, thumb, index, thumb, index, index. Now, what is good to know is when you put that index finger on here, you actually might want to put it flat onto the G string and also fretting the D and the B string because we'll need it. So now you've got this bar, and what you do is you play E, D, and then G and B. It's like this. And that is thumb, thumb, and then thumb and middle finger. Put your ring finger down on fourth, play it with your thumb, and then play the G string with your index finger. Right? So we have then what you do is you put your pinky on fifth position, and here we actually have just a plain old G chord. You play E string, G and B together, then thumb playing the D string, fingers, then D string again, and then we get this great harmonic part. So the first harmonics are played with middle finger and index finger on B and G, and it's in seventh position. Then we go to 12th, and there we play just down and upstroke. So 12 on D, down, and then it's going to be B, G, upstroke, upstroke. Then we're going to play 12 on A, downstroke, to 12 on D, downstroke, to open G, right? So we have down, up, down, up, like that. And that's verse 2. So together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up is the pre-chorus. Let me play it for you first, and then we'll get into how to play that on the guitar. Here we go. The pre-chorus has a couple of new chords, so let's dig in and see what is what. In the first bar, you play the following thing. So you start out with ring finger in fifth position of your E string, and you play E string, D string, and then open B, and you make a hammer with your index finger in third, it's like this, pull off, and then you place your middle finger, this is important, on that B string, like that. Okay, so you get, that is thumb, thumb, middle, also middle, And then what you do is you change this into D with F sharp in the bass. So your middle finger stays there. Index finger goes to a second position of the G string, and ring finger goes to fourth position of your E string. And you play E, D, and G together, thumb, index, middle. Then D, G with thumb, thumb. And then you play open E string with your ring finger or middle finger. And you make a hammer on with your index finger in second, right? So you get, you play it again, and that's bar 1 of the pre-chorus. So you get, you keep that index finger there, and then this is the tricky bit. You fold your thumb over the E string onto second position of your E string. If you have a steel string guitar, your neck is going to be a little bit narrower, so that's going to be easier. This is a classical guitar, and here it's pretty wide. So you play that E string, and then you're going to make a hammer with your middle finger in third, pull off to second, pull off to open, right? So you get just that last bit of bar 1. Then what you play is the following. So with that thumb still here, first you play 3 upstrokes, D string, A string, E string, so like this. Then what you do is you place your ring finger gently across A through E in 12th position for the harmonics. Play open E string, and then so that's down, 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 and then up, 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 up. So that is E, A, D, G, E, B, G, D, like that. Okay? So those 2 bars, 3, 4. Then in bar 3 of the pre-chorus, we get this. So what you do is you play open A, G, and B with thumb, index, and middle finger. And you make a hammer on with your index finger in second position of the B string. Then you play G and B again. So like this. Then we play that bass line. Right? So you play open A, second of A, and then fourth of A. But when we play fourth, we play together with second of G and B, like this. So then what you do is you place index finger on B3 and middle finger on G4. You play it staccato, and then you play it again, but making a grace note slide a whole step up. So like that. Okay? So we have... Then we get the following part. And it's actually quite tricky, especially going from 5th position back to 2nd position, but we'll get to that. So the first thing is you're going to be playing on the and of 1, you're going to be playing the open A string, and that is down, up, down, up, right? Down, up, down, up. We still have our fingers here from that last chord that we played. So that is index finger in 5th and middle finger in 6th of B and G. You play them with index finger and middle finger. Then you make a hammer on with pinky and ring finger in 7th of those strings. And now we're going to be playing 5th of our E string. Right? So that's my index finger barring there. So we get... Then we play 7th of G and B again. And we'll make a pull-off to our initial shape there. So... Then we move this entire thing down until we have that D in the C shape. Like that. But what's important is that when we do that, our index finger is barring D, G, and B. So we play that D in the C shape. Then we make a pull-off with middle finger and ring finger. And then we make a hammer-on again, like that. Actually, we play them. So make a pull-off, and then you play that D in the C shape again, like that. So the pre-chorus, like this. 3, 4. Next up is verse 3, and what's good to know is that the foundation, like the chords and such, are pretty much the same as verse 1 and verse 2, but there are some variations in there that are really nice to play. So let me play it for you first, and then we'll get into how to play that on the guitar. Here we go. Let's start with bar 1 of verse 3 and work our way down from there. Here we go. So what you do here is you start again with that D in the C shape, but without the middle finger, right? And you play E, A, and then what you do is you play the G string and you make that pull up there, that grace note pull up. Then you play D string, G string, and then second of G again. So, and that would be down, down, down. That is played with the middle finger, and then down, middle finger, middle finger. Then what you do is you flatten your index finger, so now you're fretting second position of B and G string. Put your ring finger on fourth of the E string, and there we play E, D, G. So that is thumb, thumb, index, middle. Then a strum with those same fingers, and then you pick G and B again, like that. Okay? So I get... Then we get that G add 9. So there you play the following. So what you do is you play E string, you pick G and B, and then you make a strum with your pick on D, G, and B. And then we play E, E, like this. Okay, then we get this part, right? So we still have that index finger in second position of G, and then we play D, G, B, and then first position, second position, and then we slide that middle finger up to third, right? So... Okay, then in the third bar, we get the following. So what you do with index finger and middle finger, you play D and G, and then you make a hammer-on with your index finger on second of your G string. Then you play A, D, play G string, and make a grace note pull up there, like this. Then you play D string and 4, open G, and then index finger on second of G, right? Then you play E string, A string, and then D and B together in second. And I'm playing that with either thumb and middle finger or with index finger and ring finger. So like this, or both would work, right? Then you play open A string and then open D and G with index finger and ring finger. Okay? So we have what is good to know, by the way, is that when you play that grace note pull-off here, and you put your index finger here back on second of G, make it flat so your index finger is already on second of D and B as well. So you're ready for the next chord. Right? Then in the last bar of that verse 3, we get this. So what you do is we have a G chord, so pinky on 5th of E. We play E string, D string, G and B with point finger, middle finger. So thumb, index finger, middle finger. Then we play the bass twice again. And we keep our index finger here, or we put our index finger here in second of the G string. And we play D string, G string, open B. And now we're going to get a series of hammer-ons and slides. So when you play the open B string, hammer-on at first with your index finger, hammer-on with middle finger in second, and then you slide to third, right? It's like this. Okay, so we get... So now verse 3 all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up is verse 4. I'm going to play it for you, and then we'll get into how to play that on the guitar. All right? Here we go. Verse 4 is very similar to verse 3. And what's interesting is that, of course, at the end you have the harmonics, and even though they're played the same, and with that I mean you play the same harmonic sequence, but you pick it differently. So let's just get right into it and see what is what. Here we go. You start off by playing the following. So we have that D in the C shape. However, because we're adding the open E string now, it's called D add 9. So we play both E string with thumb and ring finger. Then we play A, D, G, G, D, G with thumb, index. Okay? Then we switch to D major 7 over F sharp. And there we play E, D, and then G and B together. You strum it with the same fingers, and then you pick it with the same fingers. Okay? So we get thumb, pick, strum, pick. So that first bar of verse 4. Then you go to G add 9. So pinky goes to 5th of E and index finger is on the G string in second. You play E, G and B, D, E, E, D, G, B, then index finger first of B, and then middle finger second of B, and then you slide to third, right? So we get thumb, index middle, thumb, 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 down, 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 slide. Then in the third bar, we play the following. So we play E and E together, thumb and ring finger. Then we play D, D. Then second position of G, but we'll make a grace note pull up there. So to open G. Then ring finger fourth of D, open G, and then index finger second of G. Right? So, and that is thumb and ring finger, thumb, thumb, index, index. Okay. Then flatten your index finger to second of G and B. You play E, D, G and B. Then ring finger in fourth, you play it, and then index finger plays second. Okay? So we have thumb, thumb, index middle, thumb, index. So that bar 3. And then we get that sequence for the harmonic. So we go to that G chord. So thumb, middle, and index finger playing E, G, and B. Then we play D, G, B, G, D, A. And that is thumb, index, middle, and then thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, thumb. And now we get this. So that is middle, index, you go to 12, thumb, middle, index, thumb, thumb, index, like that. So verse 4 all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it for today. Next time, I'm going to be working on the pre-chorus and the chorus and the bridge. And then in a later video, I'm going to do the outro. So if you want to stay updated on when those lessons drop, then make sure to subscribe. If you like this lesson, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.